Good morning, my grade 7 students. How are you? Hope you are fine. Today, our lesson is about the absorption and translocation of water and mineral salts. It's activity 2, page 34 in your book, so you can open your book and follow with me. At the end of this lesson, you are going to determine the function of roots and you are going to compare and contrast two things. Are you ready? Let's start. We are going to start our lesson with a small warm-up. In this warm-up, I want from you to send me via WhatsApp three things that you cannot live without and relate this concept to the plant, to the nutritive needs of a plant. I'm going to start by telling you three things that I cannot live without. I cannot live without my family, my friends, and my dog. What about you? Send me three things that you cannot live without via WhatsApp and relate relate this concept to the nutritive needs of a plant. Now I want from you to observe the images. So this is the first image. In this image, we can see a tomato culture which is outside the soil. So you can see that the plant is growing in containers containing nutritive solution and the roots are dipped in the nutritive solution. They are outside of the soil, so they are not in soil, they are dipped in the nutritive solution. So I want from you to observe the images very well because we are going to use them later. So in this image, this is an image of a tomato culture which is outside the soil, and this plant is growing in containers containing a nutritive solution, and the roots are dipped in the nutritive solution. The second picture here, we have a root and we have root hairs. You see the root hairs and the root. So we can see that the root is observed by a magnifiers, by a magnifier. So when we observe a root by a magnifier, we can see the existence of numerous hairs. The hairs, we call them root hairs. So through them, the plant absorbs water and mineral salts from the soil, water, or nutritive solution. So we can see the root and the root hairs. Using a magnifier, we can see the root hairs in the roots, and through the root hairs, the plant absorbs water and mineral salts from the soil, water, or the nutritive solution. So keep those in your mind because we are going to use them in the next slide. Now we are going to do a small experiment. This experiment is to verify the role of the root hairs. So I want from you to observe the following image. In this image we have three tubes, tube 1, tube 2, and tube 3. In tube 1 we have a flower and a flower is placed in water and oil. And the root of the flower, so the roots of the flower and the root hairs are placed in water or in oil. Excellent. They are placed in water. And what has happened to the flower? Does it wilt or it grow? It grows. Excellent. So, in the second tube, the root hairs of the flower are placed in water or oil. Excellent. In oil. And what did it happen to the plant in two? Excellent. It wilted. Now, in the third tube, the root hairs are placed in water or in oil? Think then answer. Excellent. They are placed in water. And what happened to the flower? Did it grow? Think carefully. Excellent, it grows. Now I want from you to analyze document D. Remember, when we are analyzing or comparing things, we say what we observe and we use connectors such as while, same as, but, however. So I want from you to analyze document D, think, then answer and observe the figure very well. Excellent. So we say that in one, the root hairs are in water. We say what we are seeing. The plant developed normally, while the connector in two, the root hairs are in oil. The plant wilts. So we are saying what we observe. But the connector in three, the extremity, do you see the extremity of the roots in oil? And the root hairs are in water. The plant develops normally. So I'm going to repeat. In one, the root hairs are in water. The plant develops normally. We are saying what we see. While the connector in two, the root hairs are in oil. The plant wilts. But the connector in three, the extremity of the roots in oil, as you can see, and the root hairs are in water. The plant develops normally. Now I want from you to draw a conclusion. From this experiment, draw a conclusion. Think, then answer. Of course, the conclusion is gonna be about the role of the root hairs. So draw out a conclusion. Excellent. The absorption of water is carried out by the root hairs. So we can conclude that the absorption of water is carried out by the root hairs since the plants in 1 and 3 develop normally when the root hairs are placed in water, and in 2 it wilted because the root hairs are placed in oil. So the absorption of water is carried out or it happens by the root hairs. As a closure, I want from you to think about this question and send me your answers. What do you think will happen if we remove the roots of a plant? Think and send me your answer. Waiting your analysis. Don't forget to copy the questions and the conclusion on your copybook. And if you have any question, contact me via WhatsApp and I'm always here to help. Bye. See you next time and stay safe.